Welcome, everyone, to a special edition live stream that we have here. My name is Adam. I am the marketing coordinator at Fruitful Yield. And with me, we have a very special guest. We actually have my sister, Faith.
Hi.
Yes, welcome, and thank you for joining us today on YouTube, a new platform. So we're excited to test it out, see what happens. And today it is Founders Month. April is Founders Month. And so both of us, we are very fortunate to be descendants of our grandpa Elwood, who did found Fruitful Yield back in 1962. And we are excited to talk a little bit about our time here and kind of explore the history a little bit. So Faith, kind of about yourself. So from my understanding, you did work at Fruitful Yield a little bit.
I did, yes. So I'm trying to kind of go back. I worked at Fruitful Yield in college. I worked at the Bloomingdale store for a summer or two. And then I also worked at the Schaumburg store during a summer and also a winter. I studied abroad. So I had a bit of a gap. So I worked at Fruitful Yield then.
Okay. Yeah. Very exciting. And position-wise, were you the manager since you're the...
No. I was a cashier, and I would also stock shelves. When I worked at Bloomingdale, they had a smoothie bar. So I think Schaumburg does too.
We still have smoothie bars, both of those.
Yes. So I got to work in the smoothie bar. That was one of my favorite parts, just to try different recipes. I remember there would always be people coming up wanting to do substitutions, wanting to make their own. Some smoothies were really good, others not so much, but it was fun.
Yeah, it's always exciting. And we have kind of started a new smoothie of the month. I believe right now for the month of April, it is our Very Berry smoothie, which we also have on the YouTube short and on Instagram as well, if you want to see the ingredients there. Just a small little plug there. But so you've worked at Fruitful Yield for a little bit. What about afterwards? Have you worked kind of in the family business at all? Fruitful Yield is part of Now Foods. So have you worked there at all, kind of keeping it within the family?
Yes. So currently I work for e-commerce marketing. I'm able to work part-time from home. I'm a mom to two 20-year-old girls. And so I'm very blessed that I'm able to work from home. E-commerce, I do mostly Amazon and Walmart. And I did that after I graduated college. I taught for a couple of years, and I taught downstate, which is why I didn't work for Fruitful Yield or Now Foods. Then
in downstate being like Southern Illinois.
Central.
Close enough, not necessarily Chicago.
Yeah, so Champaign, Urbana, if anyone's familiar with that. And I taught for a couple of years. I found I was pregnant with twins. I moved up here to be closer to my family. And yeah, before I worked at Fruitful Yield, I also in high school worked for our grandpa. He would send me articles, scientific articles.
Yep.
And I had to highlight words. And so the whole purpose of these articles were anyone with a high school diploma should be able to read them and understand them. So I would go through and highlight words that I didn't understand, being, I think I was a high school sophomore or junior. And then I got too old because I guess I got too smart. So.
And then instead of you, he passed it along to me, and I did the same thing for a couple summers. And yeah, that was one of the kind of the nice things about working with our grandpa, and the fact that he was able to kind of do a little bit of special things for us. But other than grandpa working specifically, being specifically in charge of us, were there any other like stories about grandpa specifically, like his relationship with like his employees, the way that he treated customers that you remember?
I do. So by the time when I worked with him, he had retired from being CEO. He was kind of stuck in, I think it was in IT.
Yeah.
So he would kind of be in his office. He would always eat peanut butter and rice crackers on rice cakes. But I do remember, so there we have a Fruitful Yield in Lombard, which is close to where when our grandparents used to live. And when I worked at Fruitful Yield, they had, I think, like some return policy thing that someone went to talk to our grandparents about when they lived there. And Grandpa told them that, I think he said, we have to make sure that the customer is always right.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. no matter what, customer's always right. And I think that was one of my favorite memories, stories about him, is that, even when he was CEO of Now, as the founder, kind of this all-important person, he would still take time out of his day to go and visit the stores, because that's really where his story came from and how we came to be. And he's taken that time to spend time with the customers. Our grandpa was a scientist, so he liked to really go into the nutrition behind it and speak to all the customers on that aspect, which they were very grateful for. Grandpa liked to sometimes talk on and on and on and on, but it's all good information. And I think pretty much out of all the employees that used to work with him, all of them have very fond memories of Grandpa. And everything he did for his work impact that he did for all of us. Were there any personal stories that you had about Grandpa? Kind of showed who he was.
I remember we were at a family dinner. It was our whole family, and I think I was taking chemistry at the time. And my grandpa was a chemist, so he knew chemistry very well. And so this was high school, honors chemistry.
Very smart. Very smart.
A very low level of chemistry, and I had a couple of questions with him. For him, I was kind of struggling with it a little bit, and I said, "Well, you have a chemist here," and he talked way over my head. He was trying, and it was like a very simple, basic question, and he just kept going and going, and it was always hard to cut him off because he was so passionate about it. You could tell he truly cared. But he's a high schooler. I'm like,
a little too much.
Thank you.
Whatever he says, I don't think back at that day we had voice recording that you could just copy down everything that he had with ChatGPT and AI now to just transcribe everything, because everything he said, it was really informative and very scientific, and part of the department, the NHRI over at Now Foods, he spearheaded that in the research division. And over at Fruitful Yield, we still use that information to try and educate our customers, such as yourself, in order to make informed purchases. And speaking of informed purchases, you've worked at Fruitful Yield. You still do shop there a little bit? Any favorite products?
Yeah, so I should grab a few. So as I said, I'm a mom to little 2-year-olds.
Very cute, very cute.
They are. They might make an appearance later. So Annie's mac and cheese. They love mac and cheese. I eat these too. They also have, Fruitful Yield has their Mama Chia pouches. I love these because they have those chia seeds, so those extra omegas. I know Fruitful Yield has a lot of other pouches as well. So my girls are over 2. So our pouches are mostly applesauce or yogurt, but they have a lot of baby pouches that I've seen that have meat and stuff that little babies seem to like, but we're kind of over that.
Yeah, and we're just expanding our new baby line as well. If you've checked out our stores, there's typically a new baby display in each one of our stores featuring some new products. So again, if your kids are young or younger than 1 or over 2, you might want to go check that out.
Yep.
Anything else?
Annie's bunnies. Annie's is a big staple in our house. Chomps. So I love these. I like the jalapeno beef stick, but I know Fruitful Yield has a bunch of flavors. These are a really good high protein snack. I like Vega smoothie. I was just telling Adam that when I worked at the store, someone came in to train employees on different protein powders, and also behind the smoothie bar, we had a bunch of different kinds. So this is one I really liked. I like that. It also has your greens and everything in it. And then supplements. So we have 2 dogs. We have a golden retriever and a lab, and this is the GI support to help keep everything going. Our lab, we also give him a joint support. He moves a lot. He never stops.
Yeah, and very wild.
Yeah, so they're still young too. They're 3 and 2. So I was worried about his joints because he just plays so hard. And then the supplements I take are pretty much exclusively Now. So I take psyllium husk. I think our dad is actually the one who got me on this.
Yeah.
Fiber. And I like the Great Dophilus probiotics. I've been taking this for years and years. I take vitamin D. Eve, I take the soft gels. I know we have tablets
And
capsules.
Yep.
I just prefer the soft gel.
The women's multi.
Yeah. And then the last one, so this is a Super Omega 369 with a few different kinds of fish oils. This, I actually struggled with eczema all around my eyes earlier this year, last year. And I made a couple of different lifestyle changes. I talked to my doctor and I decided to add fish oils. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving any medical advice, but I have added this and I've seen the big difference.
Yeah, those are all really good products, all products that you can find at Fruitful Yield. I believe most of them in store as well as online, in case you weren't too sure about that. Any other kind of lasting notes that you have for anyone that's watching this about kind of Grandpa's legacy, Fruitful Yield in general?
I think one of the things that I always remember about my grandpa is that he worked extremely hard. He was very intelligent, but he could also be goofy. I remember when there was times we would stay the night at our grandparents' house, and our grandma would always make pot roast and green beans.
Yep, still.
It was great. And he would always talk with the little man under the table. That, if you remember, you don't want to drop the food because the little man on the table will get it. That was just another button. But they got him.
Yeah, so I mean, with Elwood, even though he's seemingly this all-important CEO, chemist, all the science, it's good to have fun every now and then too. Hopefully, are your girls around? That
let me go see if they can make an appearance.
And we can see, because these girls are probably two of the cutest things I have ever seen before. I'm very proud to be their uncle. And again, with Fruitful Yield, feel free to stop on by in store or order online. We do have shop online pickup in store as well, where you can place an order online and still drive to the store, pick it up that way. You have same-day delivery within the Chicagoland area as well. So with all of that, I do hear some noise coming in. I think that we can see a couple little girls coming in. And there's a big dog here. You mentioned that she had a dog. There's one very wild dog kind of coming by here. And the tricky part about them is these are identical twins. And so, honestly, I don't know which one is which right now. So there's two girls, very cute. And as you can see, very cute, dressed alike. No idea which one's which. They look very similar. If you can tell the difference, please let us know. And very cute.
What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
Do you know your name?
My name is Sammy. And what's your name? That's right, Alina.
So Samantha and Alina, very cute. Identical twin babies, and we are glad to be able to show off the next generation of family members right here. And maybe one day, in 20 or so years, maybe you'll see them working in the Fruitful Yield store.
Never know.
But thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you.